r/AskReddit. Whatever happened to the person you lost your virginity to? NSFW edition. It's been 8 years and she still texts me sometimes. Really weird stuff out of the blue, like we need more paper towels and this month's gas bill just came through the post. Just really odd things like that from time to time. Either you're married or you really need to check your attic and crawl space. She was a horse girl, so I never really checked on her. Horse girls are just rich cat ladies. She is now my stepsister. Edit. Since everyone is asking, English is not my first language, so sorry for the grammar errors. We met in high school and started dating. My dad and her mom were single. They started talking and then they did something more than talking. We broke up. They got married. Family holidays are not awkward. Actually, my wife and her get along quite well. Yes, I think about a threesome sometimes. He started to wear a lot of corduroy pants with suspenders, stop shaving and carry his trash around with him. He's not homeless, just studying environmental sciences. Mumford & Sons cover band. Environmental science major. What's the difference? This is hilariously accurate. I took an ecology class where we went out hiking, marking trails, cutting down invasive tree species, cleaning debris out of caves and so on. We all listened to Mumford & Sons. Wifed her up. Fucking lut. Are the luts these days walking around naked under their clothes, fucking their significant other at appropriate times? Piece of shit. He turned hardcore gigallo and ended up dating my neighbor in the apartment above me. By the time I moved out, they were going to get gigallo married. I wish them nothing but the gigallo best. Is gigallo married different from other types of married? Wedding yes. Marriage probably.
Hey, wait, you guys, don't get in a weed. That's mine.
You take this guy, beat your
Bear, shut up.
And by here on out, I pronounce you made white by the ass.
Well, that was adorable. Bless their white trash hearts. She's a lesbian now. I like to think I did such a good job. I scared her off cock for life. She had the best already. She might as well try a new dish now. Instead, having a Kobe steak ruined every other steak, so she turned to sushi. Mine turned out to be asexual, so I turned her off people for life. I don't really know which one's worse. Yours is worse. She got a melanoma. The cancer spread to her lymphatic system and she died when she was 25. It was fucking brutal. Damn, that's rough. My GF turned into the moon. I'll tell you once I meet them. What you up to tomorrow night? Got a date with Lefty, HBU, Righty, Reddit, two-way conversations between 4 different people. Right next to me, still after 8 years. Thinking of humping him. Do it, he'll enjoy it a lot. It take about 2 minutes, and the rest of your day is made. 2 minutes? Ha, I can do it at 1 minute. Show off. He was ran over by a bread truck at 4 AM in October 2012. They didn't release the funeral details until after the funeral. To clarify, it was an Ace Bakery truck in Ontario. The driver didn't know he hit him until he was on the way back and the road was closed and cops were everywhere. His family is super Russian and none of us could remember their last names. He has his father's last name and the rest of the family went by something else, so we couldn't call them about the funeral. He had moved since we all last saw him. We all wanted to go and find out what happened. Funeral details were posted the day after the funeral. I suspect it was a suicide. He had a troubled childhood. Hope you sent flowers then. Best way to show respect. That's the least OP can do. She's sitting upstairs watching TV right now. I grabbed the first piece of tail I could get and didn't let go. How romantic. Oh no, she just doesn't know that he's been living in her basement walls for the last 12 years. Just asked her to marry me 2 weeks ago. Congrats on being a non-virgin for 2 weeks. Edit. She said yes, of course. Virginity was lost 7 years ago. I repeat. I lost my virginity with her 7 years ago. I repeat. I swear I'm cool. Reddit. Fuck. He moved to Arizona and is probably being a douchebag there too. Can confirm. I'm in Arizona. Everyone here is a douchebag. Can confirm. Want to move to Arizona to be a douchebag. Nacho Queen. He got back together with his girlfriend after realizing he didn't actually like me that much. They're still together, I think. He works somewhere in my city. He's not joking. I'm sorry, I'll leave now. He wishes. His title should be the 5-minute king. Also, if you're wondering, it wasn't a good 5 minutes. She became an individual who cheats on everyone she dates. So she's a hooer. Why do you say it like that, Frank? I like to bang hooers. I'm either married to her, or she's probably off in some crack house sleeping on a bare mattress on the floor and eating cat food in between giving strangers hand jobs for drugs. Depends on how picky you want to get about what constitutes losing your virginity. Which one took you to Penetration Station, with direct service to Pound Town, right next to Sex Street? The first one did, but due to her scheduling conflicts with her dad coming home railways, we had to buzz by the station and couldn't get off the train. She is my best friend now. No sex and no weird awkwardness. It's great. So you married her? Cue 90s or 2000s sitcom uproarious law track. I have no idea. That was over 40 years ago and in a different country. Vietnam was a party. I was a little young for Vietnam, but I had a blast in Japan. 13 years, a wedding and 3 kids later we're still very much together. Blink twice if you need help. Bark twice if you're in Milwaukee. I took acid at her wedding. Context: oh, it was incredible and the worst thing I've ever done at the same time. There were 4 of us tripping. Every time one of us had to talk to another human, the rest of us would stand behind them watching and giving moral support, oblivious to how weird we looked. While the cake cutting was happening, I tried to steal the groom's German-speaking grandfather who was flown over for the event, and I think one of my friends, maybe even me, who knows, did a poo on the floor. Probably wouldn't do it at a wedding again though. Shortly after she broke off our engagement, she started drinking again, ruining 2 years of her being sober, and decided to rekindle a friendship with someone who molested her when she was 15. I haven't heard from her in a while, but I hope that she's doing okay. Doesn't sound like she would be, TBH. Probably in my bed doing Jack, the lazy nerd, or not. Love you, honey. You might want to ask her about Jack. He could be a serious problem in your relationship. I was in love with her forever. I just didn't know it until my junior year. The first time I laid eyes on her, I knew she was the one for me. Her freckles, her flaming hair, the way she carried herself. Too bad she chose to consort with my mortal enemy. Our feud went back generations. It was only natural I despised him, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out why she would befriend him. By all accounts, she was everything he could never be. Popular, brilliant, radiant, and so I squashed down my feelings for her. For even though I fell, bewitched, every time I looked deep into those green eyes, my rivalry with him was more important than a stupid crush, right? And then, years later, I understood. It was love. She rejected me at first, and, looking back, it makes sense. Obviously, I kind of let my jock status run to my head a little, and that bothered her. So I cleaned up my act, cleaner than he could possibly get. Snicker, and she finally let me be with her, in all her glory, and we made love, and we made a baby, and here's the best part, my little boy has her eyes, her gorgeous, green eyes. P.S. I wonder if choosing Pettigrew as our secret keeper was a good idea. Currently helping me type this comment. Edit. Contrary to popular belief, this is indeed a masturbation joke. So, was it your right hand or your left? What he means is he has broken arms, and his mom is typing for him. He's running around town as a local superhero with a fedora and mask on. He is ridiculous, but it's for charity or something, so I can't be too judgmental. Did you lose your virginity to Rorschach? What? He's Captain Reddit. She became a hippie, followed fish, moved to South America to work on a farm, grew dreadlocks, moved to Austin, Texas, now works as a barista or something. I became an alcoholic in that time. Fun. She went to college and turned into a total party slut. Getting faded and gangbanged in public was apparently her thing. Dodged a bullet on that one. So she's from those bachelor bitches gone wild on strippers' dick porns? Voice. She's with some scrawny guy named Gage who claims to speak Japanese. They're both weeboos and she's a furry, and threatened to kill me if he ever met me over Facebook. Gave me a pretty good laugh. Edit. Here's the story for anybody who cares. We met on Instagram when I was 15 and she was 14. I'm a grade above her. Cringe, I know. So we found out that she lived an hour away, dated online for a few months, and eventually got our parents to let us meet halfway. We dated for a year and a half actually, and I would drive up once a month, sleep over on Friday, not in the same room. Our parents were very strict about that, and then leave Saturday morning for work. I broke up with her last summer because it felt like the spark had died and the distance wasn't worth it anymore. Especially because I was losing interest in anime, furries, and all the things that had originally brought us together. Show up at his house with a vacuum. Please ducking like and subscribe.